Hey buddies, how we doing? Hey, I was almost going to say welcome to a new year, but I guess it's not yet, is it? It's the 30th of December. 30th, 30. There's one more after today. How do we feel about that? 2024. Was it good to you? Was it bad to you? Was it are you sad to see it go? Are you happy? Good riddance. Big 2025 coming up. Here with all my friends today. Hanging out with all my buddies. Going to be a bit of a solo show for the most part today. We may have a Pinder sighting at some point later on in the program. Expecting to hear from our buddy Frank Seravalli as well in 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes or so, somewhere in there. But as always, the dependable, our buddy Jack, producer, executive producer. What is your title, Jack? Because you're the boss, but what?
I hold many titles, I believe.
Yeah.
It's the boss, and then under's executive producer,
right,
editor,
rep, social media correspondent. Yeah, correspondent of some sort. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, Jack. How was because you and I we've texted, but we've not spoken. How are we doing? How was the holiday?
I'm doing well. Yeah. Holidays were good, kind of relaxing. Had some family in town. Stepbrother back from school. Just a lot of football, actually. I noticed. It's like there's a game again today. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not today. Is there? Yeah, there is one today. Yeah. I don't see it. You get greedy, right? Yeah, well, Christmas Day, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Then, do it. And then Sunday rolls around. All these games kind of stink. If there were more games, maybe some of them. But the Christmas Day games were really no good.
Nope.
A lot of the games yesterday were no good.
Nope.
There was the triple header on whatever day that was, Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
I guess the Bengals and Broncos went to
very good game.
But so anyway, so did you get gifts? Did you get something nice?
Yeah, I got a new jacket.
Oh, because you lost yours.
Yes, I lost mine. So my stepbrother came through a vintage Steelers jacket. Very nice. I'll have to show you. Yeah.
Is it like shiny and?
No, it's old and beat. I love it.
Nice, like me.
Yeah.
It should be my coat. Yeah. I should have that thing. Now that's real, right? You lost your jacket. No sign, no.
I didn't even bother. I wouldn't know where to begin to look for it. So hopefully someone.
When was the last time you did see it? In your
on the Drinky Show day. I think I co-checked it at a bar, but then I also remembered taking it with, I remember grabbing it from the co-check, and then I don't remember where it went.
You're a bit of a mess that day.
Yeah,
you're a bit of a mess that day. Yeah, you were. Yeah. Now was there a wallet that got lost in the fray as well, or?
Yes, my wallet, but I had all my cards. So when I woke up, I had my cards were just kind of laying out on my kitchen island, and I was like, "Well, where's my wallet?" No idea.
Youth. I miss those days. No, I don't. No, I don't at all. I don't. Hey, this program is a presentation of Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account with Bet365 today. Huge range of markets. Use the promo code NATION when you sign up if you haven't already. Download the app. It's awesome. Did a little bit of, I think I put one in I got a bad beat yesterday. Now, I'm not sure if we're supposed to talk about it because, it's kind of one of those things. But every once in a while you go in there, it's like, oh, they've put together some kind of pre-built bets and they've given it a little bit of a booster. They had one there yesterday with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, the thing about them is they're a fun team to watch. And for a lot of years, you could take or leave the Buccaneers. Even well before the Brady years, well before the Jameis Winston, going back to when they actually won the Super Bowl the first time. And they do nothing for me. They're fun to watch right now. I'll tell you what, Baker Mayfield, he's a lot of things, real reckless and careless at times, and he's a gunslinger. What do you have? 5 touchdowns, put up some big points. And they had one of those pre-built bad boys there in the old 365. And I think I threw it in the folder there, Jack. You might be able to find it. Maybe I didn't throw it in the folder. I think maybe I didn't. Anyway, I'll call it up here. You don't necessarily need to see it to understand what the heck I'm talking about. It was where'd you go? Did I delete? No. There it is. Same game parlay. Baker Mayfield, 300 plus passing yards. Check.
Take.
Money line, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Check. They won with ease. Mike Evans, 100 plus receiving yards. They were feeding him like crazy because it's another one of those things where Mike Evans needs this and this and this over the next 2 games to check. He's going to get $1 million here and $1 million there. All these bonuses starts. So you know that they're going to be feeding him. 100 plus receiving yards. Finished with 97.
Oh, man.
And Daddy felt good about that one. So he put
He had 2 touchdowns too, did he not?
Yeah.
I had the
on another one. I had a Josh Allen anytime, a Mike Evans anytime, and then stupid Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, just team. I needed a Bucky Irving touchdown, and he was having the game of his life. If the field was 99 yards, I think he would have had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had like 170 purpose yards. Just couldn't get in the end zone.
Couldn't get there. Christmas Day. Your buddy or your buddies, the Steelers. They kind of got shit pumped. Again.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Again.
For the 3rd time in a row.
No, I don't know that we need the jackometer. But what's your because you ride that emotional roller coaster. It's up and down, and you're an emotional guy. How's it today?
It's the lowest it's been all season.
Oh dear.
We started at a 5, and now it's low.
Yeah.
And I'll pull up that photo you put in because it's funny. And I went back and looked at their last 3 playoff games. 31-17 to the Bills, 42-21 to the Chiefs, and 48-37 to the Browns. And it just feels like it's going to happen again.
Is that what it feels like?
It doesn't matter like who's at quarterback. It could be Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph. They could finish like last year. They went 3-0 at the end of the year. And then they get killed. This year, we're peaking. Now we're dead. And we're going to get blown out.
That is kind of a, I don't know why it's mean. I don't know why I thought to keep that. But yeah, the illusion of choice. You know, maybe if you go with Russell Wilson, see, that's what an unbelievable choice there by Tomlin to go with look at 10-7, blown out in first round of the playoffs. Start the season strong, end the season strong. Start slow. Start 10-7, get blown out in the first round. So, and I know if the playoffs start today, which they don't, but what's it shaping up like? Because I got to admit, I haven't looked that close. Who's the probable opponent round 1?
They would travel to Houston right now.
I like that for you.
I like that. Yes, that's what I want. So they play the Bengals, and they move that game to Saturday night, and that's a game where the Bengals can still, you know, they're gonna come out winning because they have a slight chance. I think they need the Broncos to lose and the Dolphins to lose. So if Pittsburgh loses that game to the Bengals, then they're looking like they're going to have to travel to Baltimore.
Baltimore feels like they're ready for everybody.
Yes, they do.
Feels like they don't. Where do you want to play? What kind of weather? Don't matter. Let's keep talking about Josh Allen as the MVP, so Lamar can just continue to do what he does. I don't know. I kind of looking forward to it. I don't know. It does, you get sad because then all of a sudden, if the playoffs are here, that means less football.
Yeah. But that wild card weekend's awesome.
Wild card weekend is the best. For a long time, there was a buddy of mine. He would go to Vegas for some whatever show. It wasn't the CES. It was the week after. Anyway, so I'd be like, I'm coming to Vegas and I'm staying in your room. Just heads up. And it was always wild card weekend. So I would just park my hoop in a sports book and just buckets of beer and betting. It's the best. And it makes me sad. Maybe we should go down there, Jack. You don't have a wallet or a coat, though. That makes things tricky. Do you have any ID? Are we going to be able to get you there? But it is one of the most fun weekends that you can do because there's just something going on, and no matter what, there's all the fans are there and they're cheering, and it almost doesn't matter because if you got some money down in a game, you're cheering hard anyway. But it's the best.
The best.
Best. let's get into our opening statements for our good friends over at McLeod Law. They're wishing you and yours the best in 2025. Hope you had a great 2024. And if some, whatever your legal issues might be in the coming year, if you're buying a house, selling a house, getting married, getting unmarried, things are going well, things are not going well. McLeod Law. That's the first thing that comes into your head. You need a lawyer. Do you have a lawyer? Even if you don't, you do. You don't? You do. McLeod Law. Peter Klein, Shane King. Those boys came for the Drinky show the other day. They were going to come for a few minutes, hung out the whole time. Great guys. Maybe they thought we needed legal assistance. That was probably a good idea for them just to hang around, have firsthand knowledge of what was going on there. But they are the people that you need in your time of need. McLeod-law.com, social media, McLeod Law LLP, which means something. I'm quite sure. Calgary Flames last night, wrapping up a weekend road trip of sorts. Weekend? I guess it is. That's the crazy thing about Christmas when it's in the middle of the week. No idea what day it is. Today is Monday, so it would be a work day or whatever. No idea. So I think the Flames played on the weekend. They were beaten by the Vegas Golden Knights 3-0 last night. Their first regulation loss in 6 games, 3-1-2. So, I mean, it's all how you want to cut it up. It's all how are you feeling going into the new year? Are you up? Are you down? So first reg loss in 6, but they've lost some of those as well in the 6 games. All time at T-Mobile Arena, 2 wins in 13 games, 2-9-2 all time in Vegas. And this year, it's not great. They've played there twice. They've lost twice. They have not scored. Their next goal will be their first goal. I don't know that they, got to be honest, I'm not sure they're going to play in Vegas again. There's not another game on the regular season schedule. Maybe playoffs. But as it stands, they have been outscored in Vegas 8-0 over 2 games. They go 0 on the power play, including a 5-on-3 for just over a minute, 67 seconds. And it's another night. For Dan Vladar, I can't figure it out. I can't figure me out, I guess. Because I watch Vladar play. Guy's playing his balls off. Guy's playing great, making saves, looks good. Did he win? Well, no, he didn't win, but he looked really good. Oh, yeah. Was he making a lot of saves? Yes, first period, he was terrific. What do you have? 15 saves in the first as the Flames. That was probably their worst stretch of the game. They were outshot 15-12, and those 12, it took them a while to get there. But as the game went on, it got to be a little bit more balanced, and I thought they played better as the game went on. But the first period, certainly as there were some power play opportunities, there was the one power play where they just peppered. They were peppering Dan Vladar. It's like, Vladar's playing great. Guy looks great. Then they, scoring the power play and then score again and an empty net. 3-0. Okay, it's tough for Vladar. How was he? It was really good. Did he win? No. What's his not? Well, he's got a 3.02 goals against and an 890 save percentage. Well, those aren't great numbers. No, they're not really great numbers. Not really great numbers. So I don't know. I feel for the guy. I don't know how realistic a trade deadline deal is for Vladar. I really do think it's another one of those things. Flames fans watch him and think, oh, this guy would be great for you, and he'd be great for that team. He'd be great for that team. But then at the end of the day, there's probably a lot of goaltenders who are able to do what Dan Vladar does. But Vegas, meanwhile, they've won 6 in a row, 10-11. They're rolling. They're feeling it. I guess just some other things from this game. I mean, we got the schedule. We can take a look at the schedule. So they play those 2. They play San Jose and they play Vegas and they come home. And now they've got a little 3-game homestand, which opens up tomorrow against the Vancouver Canucks. So there you have it. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Vancouver, the Utahs, and the Nashville Predators. Some interesting stuff going on with Vancouver. They have some bad news that they're going to be without Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes for a stretch of time here, as it's a lower body. The week to week is what they're calling it. Both missed the Canucks OT loss to Seattle. They're on a 2-game road trip. Neither are on this trip with the team. Week to week with an upper body injury for Hughes. And Pettersson is about a week away from coming back from an undisclosed injury. Undisclosed. Very mysterious. It's very mysterious. Hughes has been awesome. 42 points in 34 games. They're already without Philip Hronek on the back end. Who's to say? But that's the road. That's the homestand coming up for the Flames. They have Huberdeau's been good. His point streak and goal streak obviously ends with a shutout loss. But he's been good for them. I like the way they bounce back. It's going to be January in a few hours, and then I don't know exactly what to make of it, but I guess we'll see. It's the whole do you want wins or do you want losses? It's in full swing right now for a number of teams in the NFL. The Giants, they snapped a 10-game skid, and meanwhile the fans are pissed off. Why would you do that now? Why would you bother doing that? I wonder how it's going to kind of spin for Flames fans if it hasn't already, but we'll get into it as we get into the new year. Pleased to go to our insider hotline. It's a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, your crystal clear choice for all residential plumbing, heating, and cooling services. If you're a barn burner watcher, listener, you need a new hot water heater, AC, or furnace, you'll get discounts or upgrades up to $1,000 in value. 403-219-4100 or check them out at crystalclearcalgary.com. We go to the insider hotline and say hello to our buddy Frank Seravalli. Whoa. What are we? This new backdrop? We got some neon going. What's going on, Frankie boy? Look at this.
Yeah. But trying to figure out how to, fix the flickering here. But I think it's a frame rate issue. I'm not a tech savvy guy, but I'm trying.
Yeah, there's I know exactly what you're talking about. There's frame rate. There's some other stuff in there. I forget what it's all called, but you'll figure it out, I'm sure. It looks good though.
Thanks. How was your Christmas, buddy?
It was good. Yeah, didn't do a whole lot, so that's right up my alley, as you know. Kept it pretty close. Kids were happy, and there was lots of food and booze. So
sounds like a win.
It's a win. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, it was good. It was quiet. Similar. We hosted on Christmas Eve. That went well. Christmas Day uneventful. So yeah, it was good and nice to just relax for a little bit.
Last we talked, you had to go out and do some serious appetizer buying. There was some.
I think people were pleased.
Yeah.
The cheesesteak and buffalo chicken egg rolls, they were a hit.
Right. Yeah.
The cocktail franks were delicious.
Yeah.
I think I did all right.
What are they called? Is that pigs in a blanket? Is that what they call that?
Pigs in a blanket.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. Now, this serious question. I think I know the answer, but you're kind of in that. You're right in the belly of the beast when it comes to cheesesteaks and that. Would you ever even entertain doing it yourself, or is that just kind of one of those things?
So I do like making a cheesesteak by myself occasionally, but it's just more trouble than it's worth. Like by the time you buy the ingredients and then do it, and the mess involved, like you didn't save any money, you didn't save any time, obviously, and you can't really do it as well. What's great about being here is just the variety of cheesesteaks. And I know that sounds wild to say. You're like, come on, man, a cheesesteak is a cheesesteak. But here's the thing. It depends on a million factors. You've got different rolls. Do you go seeded or non?
Right.
You've got different styles of meat. Like, do you go patties or is it chopped up? You've got different cheeses, like the place I took you to.
Yeah.
They have the liquid American that's melted and it's just like it's in a vat and you just kind of like ladle it on. Or do you go with like Cooper Sharp cheese, or can you go to a place that has melted Cooper Sharp? I mean, look, I could talk about this forever, and this is partially why I'm so fat. But it's like there's variety in it, and if you go to a different place, you're getting a different steak, and it's the spice of life.
Yeah, because I've never even bothered, because I just feel like for starters, you need the roll, like you say. If you're gonna go ahead, get your prime rib and do it however you want. You dice it and put whatever else and whatever cheese. If the bun stinks, then the sandwich stinks.
I found this other place just recently. I had it a few weeks ago. They have a pretzel roll.
Gotcha.
And just the like little salt that you get on the pretzel roll. Oh, it's like it's taking it next level.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I'm a little bit partial to that right now.
Really? Well, it's start of a new year, right? It's maybe you're changing. Gonna be a big year for Frankie boy.
The pretzel roll is hard to compete with.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. Damn.
You guys don't really have soft pretzels, do you?
You know what? We do, but it's not super. Warner will talk about Wetzel's pretzels. You got to go get pretzels. It's, you know what it is? It's an underrated thing for sure.
But like, do you guys have like a soft pretzel store that is making them fresh, and you can like roll in there and get 6 hot pretzels?
Yeah,
for like $2.
But they're not. I mean, it's kind of rare. They're not everywhere, but you can find them. They'll be in the mall or whatever. You got to go.
Yeah, like Annie Ann's doesn't count. Come on.
Wow. So in that respect, do we have any mom and pop pretzels? I don't know that we necessarily.
That's like every street corner here. You can find that. That's
that and the water ice.
Yep.
Delicious. I guess we could talk about hockey. I don't know.
I guess. It is the holidays.
Yeah, I know it is. What'd you make of the timing of the firing of Derek Lalonde by Stevie Y? Was that Boxing Day?
Yeah, new definition for Boxing Day, as in you can come in and box up your office. Sir.
Yeah, pack your shit and get out.
Tough one. I don't know if that makes Steve Yzerman look like a good guy, bad guy. At the end of the day, to me, it's all human shield. And no offense to anyone involved there, but that roster is just not good enough to compete. And so I don't care if Scotty Bowman returned and was head coach in his prime. I don't think you're getting much more out of this group than what they've currently got. When you enter a season in which 20-year-old, 21-year-old Simon Edvinsson is your second best defenseman, I really like what we're seeing from him and where he's heading, but that's not the makings of a contending team to, get in the playoffs and do some damage. When they had an opportunity last summer to do things a little bit differently, finding cap space to sign Vladimir Tarasenko to a 2-year deal, that's not what that team needed. And so you can work your way through all of the different personnel changes, going to get Patrick Kane again, fine.
Yeah.
But that's not what's putting that team over the top. It comes back to defense. And when you have Sherratt and Petrie and Hall and Wallman and all these guys that have been through a revolving door, Gostisbehere was through there at one point. It's not working. And it comes down to player evaluation from the management team that stands out to me.
Yeah. I like Todd McClellan. I think he's a good coach. And I don't know. I mean, for Derek Lalonde, his first time as an NHL head coach. I don't know if he's a guy that's going to be sought after again now as a head guy, but
he's probably a really good assistant.
Yeah, he does kind of have that feel. He obviously did a lot of winning with Cooper in Tampa Bay, but I don't know. It almost felt like you say. So we're if not deck chairs, then did it have to happen on Boxing Day? Could it have happened 2 weeks ago? Could it happen 2 weeks from now? I don't know.
It was one of those ones you could see coming from a million miles away. Like at some point, Derek Lalonde was getting gonged, whether it was now or at the end of the season or in late October. Like it was happening.
Yeah. Maybe we look back in a couple years and the luster comes back for Stevie Y, but it sure seems like it's
What'd you make of his press conference?
Yeah,
Did you see the clip? Like it seemed like a guy that was cracking under the weight of, hey, everyone's telling you that you're bleeping this up.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is too, I think he's so used to between as a player and as an executive till now, guy could do no wrong. He's a winner. He's got
perfect,
Olympics, World Cups, Stanley Cup championships, the whole thing goes to Tampa Bay. Things are great. Goes to Detroit. Well, you're back in Detroit. We love you here. I don't think he's used to being criticized at any level for any amount of time. So it's new for him. And I didn't think not that it's not terrible, but it wasn't a great look for a guy who I think is generally a well-liked guy.
By who, I guess would be the question.
Yeah.
But even Wings fans, like at some point it's fair to ask the question, is Julian Breezeball the guy that was behind everything that they did well there? Was Al Murray their director of scouting? Was he the guy for the success in Tampa? Not to say Steve Yzerman, as the guy with his hands on the controls, didn't have a part or say in it. But he came out of that thinking this is the best general manager. Everyone's thinking this is the best general manager currently in the league. And Detroit just got him. This is going to change everything for them. It's obviously not the case.
Yeah.
The shine has worn off.
Other stuff, because again, I was saying before you came, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what's happened. You kind of, oh yeah, Flames are playing today. And you just kind of get lost in the holidays. Somewhere along the line, I think it was going back to Friday, the Colorado Avalanche, they extend Mackenzie Blackwood. 5 years, $26.25 million. He's been good since he got dealt there. He's gone 4-1 with a 1.82 and a 940 save percentage. That's a quick little romance before popping the question, isn't it? 4 games. I was reading we wanted him to get to Denver and kind of get the lay of the land, and then we thought we'd get into contract talks, and boom, it's done. Maybe when you know, but it seems pretty quick between. I didn't even know they had landed on him.
They boinked on the first date,
right?
So
I guess he's the number one. I guess he's the guy. I didn't even know they'd kind of picked a number one yet. But there you go.
Someone help me understand this contract. Like, if you want to sign Mackenzie Blackwood to an extension, I mean, by all means, knock your socks off. 5 years?
5 years.
He got that contract term and dollar figure is like quite literally the kiss of death for all NHL goalies. Tristan Jarry, disaster in Pittsburgh. Jack Campbell, horrific in Edmonton. And then you go out and you give him basically the same deal 4 games in for a guy that's never played. You and I have played in the same number of Stanley Cup playoff games as Mackenzie Blackwood. How is that possible? How have you anointed this guy as the savior for what your team needs in net? I'm not saying he can't be good, not by any stretch of the imagination. But when you look at his track record, we've seen way more bad than good to think that this is a guy you have to sign right now to a long-term deal.
It's another one of the. Sorry, Frank. It's another one of those things. If he plays the remainder of the season, or you go another month or two, but let's just say you go the rest of the year, how much more than 26.25 over 5 are you going to have to pay the guy if he's dynamite?
Not at all.
I don't know how much. What's the price increase? It just.
Unless
I hope it works out for them.
Finish this year out for the rest of the year at 940. Then you're going, okay. But even then, on the best case scenario, it's not going to be much more expensive than it was right now.
Yeah, I don't see him suddenly being a $7 or a $9 million per season goaltender. I don't know. But if there's a team that has to appreciate what goaltending is, or what it's like to have a good team with bad goaltending, it would be the Colorado Avalanche.
Do you know, prior to this season, his last 3 years, 91 games played, 85 starts, 896 save percentage.
I know. And I guess some of that's the team, right? He's not.
I guess, but yeah, someone is going to have to help me with that contract.
It's great. It's great work for him. It's great work for the agent. It's great work for him.
Can you imagine, so I'm just trying to think this one out. So Chris McFarland calls, obviously it's around the holidays. He's feeling pretty generous. Team's gotten back on track. And you get the call if you're Blackwood's agents, and they say, wait, we're going to have to check on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you put the phone down and like put it on mute and start screaming like, yeah, like how does that work? Or do you have to bluff a little bit? Like, you know what? We're going to have to turn that first offer down. What do you like? I don't even know what you do.
Yeah. Is there a negotiation, or do you just look for a pen? It's probably one of those things. I think maybe he's been in the eggnog now. If he is hammered, and we sign, is there any recourse? Is he going to be able to say, oh, no, I was drunk, I take it back? I don't know how. It's a great deal.
Again, even if you wanted to sign him to a 2-year deal at the same AAV, fine, by all means. I could see that. Yeah, you know what? But 2 years is so much different than 5.
5's a long time. Yeah, 5 is a ton.
There's going to be some hard years, I'm telling you, on that deal.
It feels like it, but you know what? I hope it works out.
It'd be a great story, and he's obviously a talented kid. Like, no one's denying that. And the injuries that he had in New Jersey were that was really tough. Like, I don't know if I told you the story or our loyal barn burner listeners, but his heel injury in New Jersey was so bad that they quite literally had to cut out the piece of the back of his skate so that his heel could hang out.
Really?
Yeah, it was horrible. So I'm hoping that he just got right and is back on track. But man, this is a guy that did not handle pressure well in New Jersey as well. There was no pressure in San Jose.
Yeah.
Obviously, 4 games, great. But give him a playoff run first.
So
let him get a taste of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah. I read the McFarland. We wanted him to get back to Denver and just kind of get the lay of the land for what, about a couple days? I mean, it was
to see if the mountains were blue. Like, what are we looking at here?
Yeah. Flames have got Vancouver coming up. No Pettersson and no Quinn Hughes. Again, I'm playing catch up. I know that Hughes was wearing the bubble, but he missed their last game. Talk came out yesterday and said week to week. That is, as much as went right for last year for Talk and the Canucks, it feels like, boy, it's a challenge this year. He's got JT Miller this and Pettersson, and are they fighting? And the goalie's back, but he's not. And now Quinn Hughes is out. This is a real dogfight for Talk at this year. And
let's put all that aside for a second, like the fighting and whatever else, the drama, because I mean, color everyone's shocked that the Vancouver market is eating itself again.
Right.
But go on dailyfaceoff.com and pull up the Vancouver Canucks defense pairings for the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Because Hronek's already out.
Tyler Myers, Carson Soucy, Noah Juleson, Eric Brandstrom, Vinny Desharnais. That's your 6. That is 4 replacement level players and 2 NHLers. That's, if you're asking me what's my level of concern for the Canucks over the next few weeks, for a thin defense core to take out Quinn Hughes, all-world defenseman this year, in the conversation for the Hart, and then already without Filip Hronek.
Yeah.
That's some tough sledding for Rick Tocchet. And to me, for the most aggressive front office in the league, I'll be very surprised if we get through the next number of days and the Canucks don't have something going.
I was going to ask you, because it does. They're a good team. They're right in the mix. They're in a wild card spot, but can't afford to just toss away a couple of
not
weeks,
a couple weeks,
right? No. You can't do it. So I don't know what's out there. Every team would love to go and add some depth to their defense, guys that would still be impactful once you get healthy with Hronek and Quinn Hughes when they come back. But I don't know.
How do you look at this Canucks team? On paper, they're 17, 10, and 8. But if you flip that around, they have more losses than wins.
I know.
Do you look at them glass half full with all that they've dealt with? They didn't have Demko for a long time to start. They haven't had a fully healthy roster that they assembled in the summer for any one game this season, and likely won't for a while. And then you mention all the other stuff that's been going on behind the scenes and then out in front of it. What do you give them full marks, or do you say that this is a team that's just hanging on by a thread?
For me, it would be the latter, but I'm also guilty of not seeing last year coming. And okay, you can bring in Rick Tocchet, and everybody likes Tocchet, and he could, he demands accountability and all that sort of thing. And then they were a very good team last year. They were very tough to beat. Obviously got to the playoffs and we saw what happened there. I still think some of that applies, but you've also had Brock Besser. There's too many. It's just like there's banana peels everywhere. I think they're going to have a really tough time hanging in there. They have.
Who's going to beat? I
was going to say somebody's going to have to come and take their chair,
and I don't know who it is.
But I don't know who it is either.
It's not going to be the Kraken. It could be the Flames. The Flames are the only team. I mean, I think Utah is making it. So
is that right? So what about Utah gives you just coming of
that
age?
Team's way better than anyone gives them credit for. They've got legitimate stars up front, and they're getting closer to getting they have got 3 of their top 6 defensemen out.
Yeah.
They're going to be back in February. I think Utah is going to have 2 months to make up ground, and they're not really far out of it as it is, and entered pre-holidays in a playoff position by points percentage.
Yeah. I don't know. we watch the Flames very closely. I just think they are what they are. I don't see extended winning streaks, but I think they're probably committed enough to not go on some crooked number losing streaks.
Probably isn't also going to be a big teardown.
Could be, yeah. And that's the other thing too, is what does Utah want to do? Do they want to make the playoffs right now because they're a first-year team, or does it serve them better to maybe sell off some pieces?
They have to. No, they're not going to be selling off pieces. They're going to be adding.
Yeah,
Utah. They're going to have to sell off prospects because they can't sign them all. So Utah's in a great spot. Like if you were talking about starting, like if you had to pick one of the non-playoff teams and pick which team you think you can grow with the next 3, 4, 5 years and turn them into a contender, I don't think there's another team in the league that I'm picking outside of Utah. Cap space, legit stars up front, good defensemen. And by the way, they've done all this year in a year in which Connor Ingram's been terrible.
Yeah.
This guy that was supposed to be their bona fide number one starter for the future has been in the 870s.
Out your way, the Rangers have Florida tonight. They're in Florida. They've lost 3 in a row, 1 regulation win in their last 7.
We're going to make it through an entire hit without it.
No, well, because all I was saying is they got to get to Christmas, and they got to Christmas.
I know. I said, man, break couldn't have come at a better time for the Rangers. Here they go. They're going to turn it around and reset. And oh my God.
Lost again.
Folded like a cheap tent in a soft wind.
4-14 since November 21st, and they've made trades. They've done. Is Laviolette the next domino that falls just because, or
just because I think that lets the players off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
This team quit. I think Larry Brooks in the New York Post said it best. They've quit on themselves. They've quit on the organization. They've quit on the coach. They've quit on the GM. They've quit on the city.
Jeez.
I mean, it's the truth. When you lose in as lifeless fashion as you have consistently, look, every team has a bad 2-week stretch. When it turns into 6 weeks and it started out with you were day to day with hurt feelings, this is the NHL. Like you've got to show up to work, and they don't even try.
And I mean, they can lots of runway left. But as we sit today,
they're only
behind
6 points back of the Penguins with 3 games in hand. Like they could easily still be in.
But they're behind the Habs in this. They're behind the Islanders and the Blue Jackets. It's
a disgrace is what it is.
This
team is way too talented, which is why, look, do I think Peter Laviolette's done them any favors this year? Absolutely not. There's been head-scratching decisions. It doesn't look like he's a ball of fire behind the bench, which then I think raises an interesting Todd McClellan question when you kind of continue to bring in these coaches that just go from like changing out one sweatsuit for morning skate for another. To me, it's a really interesting case study on at what point, are these coaches where the messaging doesn't change, same guy, same thing year in and year out. Does that help you or hurt you? But to me, doing that, making the coaching change, or even making a big trade right now is bailing this team out that should probably have to wallow in it for a bit because they're way too talented. What happened to Mika Zibanejad?
I know.
How he forgot how to play hockey?
Yeah. President's Trophy winners a year ago.
He's signed through 2029 with a full no move. You can't even put him on. You can't even give him the Chris Drury special and put him on waivers. He's got the no move.
I dig him. I think he's a hell of a hockey player still. But
how? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then and you also just signed your goalie to a contract that hasn't kicked in yet, and he's been no good. I don't know what they do.
And Drury's above. I mean, he's in Dolan's pocket. There's no. Obviously, the coach is going to go before the GM, but is Drury free and clear of criticism in the ownership's eyes?
No, I think everyone's wearing it. He's not free of criticism here. This death spiral started the day that he sent out the memo.
Yeah.
November 24th, if you back it up a couple games, they lost those 2. I think they lost in Edmonton, and then it was the week of U.S. Thanksgiving. He sent that that memo out at 10:43 in the morning on Sunday, the 24th.
Yeah.
And it's been no good since then. But
it's too bad.
Probably it's a lesson on a million levels, not a way to handle it. But at the same time, the players are paid to play, and it's not all about, feeling respected or whatever, having a seat at the table. I know that's a different conversation, a longer conversation for another day, but man, it's on them more than anyone else.
Are you a New Year's Eve party kind of guy, or
Nope.
No, eh?
No, I at one point in my life was a New Year's Day party guy.
Gotcha.
We have this parade here. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's called the Mummers Parade.
The Mummers Parade. So if you've seen Jason Kelsey wearing the thing, that's the Mummers deal.
It's Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best. Like, my wife isn't watching, so I can say this. This is one of the best days of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. I got some stories from that day, buddy.
Is that right?
One day I dressed up in costume with the face paint and everything. You start out the day, 6 a.m. The sun is just crackling across the sky.
Yeah.
It's usually cold, New Year's. And you have an 8-piece band that's part of your group, your outfit as you march. And they start out the day, they give you a flask of OJ and vodka, and you have a satchel. I know that sounds weird. Not a merce, not a man purse.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But they give you a 6-pack of beer. And whenever you finish your 6-pack of beer as you're walking and, hanging out, dancing, doing whatever it is, and the band's playing and you're just cruising, you just walk up to the front of your group and there's a U-Haul truck that has hundreds of cases of beer and they refill your satchel. Next thing you know, you turn around and you drank a 24-pack yourself and you're still going. And the flask is empty and it's only lunchtime.
So you won't be doing that this year, or you wish you were, or how does it?
No, I wish I was. I'm just not built like that anymore.
Oh, for one day, we're all built like that, buddy.
And the best part is there's no bathrooms around. So as you're going, you're just stopping and taking a whiz on someone's front steps. It is, I'm telling you, and they love it. It's the best day ever. Best day ever.
It's very romantic. Nice.
Seriously, six pack and a flask done before 7. You're on your way, buddy.
That's good work. If you can get it, that's good work for sure. And now there's an outdoor game on New Year's Day, I think.
No, it's New Year's Eve.
Is it New Year's Eve?
Yeah, that was a big reason why the tradition stopped for me. I always had to work.
Right.
So
see, now
it's New Year's Eve at Wrigley. Like I guess I could have kind of made it home in time.
I'm happy for everybody. I'm happy for everyone in Chicago. They get an outdoor game. Everybody likes to piss on the outdoor games. It's not. Look, it's for the people in that town. If they want to go and enjoy it, they can enjoy it.
Matchup this year. I mean, I don't think anyone was dying to see Blues Blackhawks.
No.
But 2 big markets and 2 very loyal baseball fan bases that are rivals.
Yeah.
So I get that part of it and the allure of a Connor Bedard, but this is a tough matchup this year.
It's what it is. What it is. Yeah, Wrigley's great, but outside of that, I'm not sure that teams are. I
was at the last one at Wrigley.
Yeah,
2009.
Flyers.
No, it was Blackhawks Red Wings.
Yeah, they're fun outdoor games.
Yeah,
people like to piss on everything.
Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. Just if it's not your thing, then just move on.
Just change the channel.
Just move on. Well, happy New Year to you. So do you have a Mummers suit? Or do you rent those things, or how does that work?
No, you got to order your costume months ahead of time. You can't just show up, and they change every year. Yeah. So you actually technically need to be a member, and I was an invited guest. And man, even after, so you do all that day drinking, and then everyone goes home to take a nap, and you reconvene and you start another parade again. But the cool part about the night parade is everyone in that neighborhood, it's just 2nd Street, it's all row houses. So you just pop into someone, hey, somebody's got some big ziti over here. You go over here, you go in someone else's house. It's people you've never seen, never heard of. They're just inviting you in for food and drinks. Best day ever.
I love Philly. What a town.
So good.
What a town. Appreciate you, pal. Happy New Year.
You too. See you, buddy.
You betcha. There you go. He is Frank Seravalli, our NHL insider with Daily Faceoff, dailyfaceoff.com. On the Insider Hotline, a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, your crystal clear choice for home comfort. You can call 403-219-4100. Check them out at crystalclearcalgary.com. And if you're thinking, you got something going on with your hot water tank, your furnace or whatever, but you're putting it off, just can't afford it right now, can't do it. Well, Crystal Waters, they got a solution for you. They're there to help. All budgets, financing, affordable payment plans. Don't put it off. Get the work done that needs to be done with Crystal Waters, your crystal clear choice for home comfort, for your plumbing and heating. Have you seen those mummers, the mummers deal there, Jack? Do you know what he's talking about?
No, I have no idea.
It's very much a Mardi Gras type thing, but it's a lot of boozing. It's a Philly thing, and if you've ever seen it was the Super Bowl, the big, parade, and then the whole ceremony deal that they had by the Rocky Steps or whatever, and Kelsey did the kind of his legendary speech, and he was wearing the suit, the big green and yellow and whatever it was. Just feels like a good excuse to get bombed in the morning.
Yeah, it does. That sounds awesome.
The older I get, that's the way it needs to be done. Just get up, do the deal, back to bed.
We did a little bit of that on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
They had 50% off drinks at the Hudson's in Shaughnessy. We were there very early, and we had plans to leave around 7, and it carried on until 3 in the morning. So I think I was there for like 14 hours.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you. You're sweet boy. Yeah. Another guy who knows what it's like to, any time of day is good for him. Morning, noon, night, don't matter. He is joining us on the Insider Hotline. I'm not sure what it is.
Hi, Dean.
Hello, Ryan. How are we doing?
Oh, so good.
Are you hammered right now, or are we good, or what's happening?
I'm having a sandwich.
Yeah.
No. What's that party Frank was at? That sounds good.
Philadelphia, they do it on New Year's Day. It's the Mummers Parade. It just sounds like another one of those things. Let's drink a lot and wear some weird clothes and go outside.
Yeah, I'm in.
To each their own. Yeah, to each their own. How was Christmas?
It was good. Yeah, we have lots of in-laws, lots of people at Grandma and Grandpa's house, so it was full chaos. We had to almost burnt down Grandma and Grandpa's house at 7:30 a.m. on Christmas morning. One of the young fellas went to bed early, so of course he was up early, screaming Merry Christmas at 6-something.
Yeah.
All the other boys get up, 3 cousins, 6 months apart, wrestling like dogs in the basement. Pillowcase gets up on a light fixture. They leave the room with the light on.
Right.
And luckily, our Aussie cousin was staying in the basement in his own room. And Cousin Hayden, it's a little misty in our room. No.
Misty.
That's smoke, son. That's not mist. Yeah, what's that smell? And sure enough, the pillowcase was on fire. And the next half hour was the fire alarm going off. And all of us in bed at 7:30 thinking, did we almost die this morning?
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
So whose kid?
It was 2 of my boys and my sister's son. They're 6 months apart, the 3 of them. They're like triplets.
Yeah. So no way of knowing which kid it was specifically then.
We could hedge bets, but
yeah.
I mean,
Bet 365, figure it out.
I think you probably got one at about -500 and the other 2 are like +350.
Yeah.
700.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it was a later night for the parents, and the kids are supposed to sleep till 8:30, and
they don't do that.
You wake up to the fire alarm, and you're like, "Okay, Grandma must have burnt toast. I'm not getting out of bed."
That's right. Or I'm having a stroke. Either way,
I'm okay with. I'm ready.
Yeah, it would be better than this.
How was your Christmas, Dino?
It was good. Yeah, we. I think I got. I'm not sure that I've ever had it before. Hand gout.
Oh no, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, I think that's what it
Use
is.
your hands. That's not good.
You do, yeah. It was. I thought I had maybe somehow sprained it or something. I couldn't. I was trying to wash dishes around. I can't even lift. I can't hold this thing. I can't do that. And my wife says, "Do you think it's like gout?"
Gout of the hand?
Yeah, I mean, it's traditionally a foot thing, but I've had it in an elbow, and I'm not gonna count it out. So I took I'm kind of almost steady gout medication. So
Just
I upped my dosage or got into the
allopurinol.
the allopurinol, and it's gotten a bit better. But I did eat a ungodly amount of seafood on Christmas Eve.
Really?
Friends of ours do a big lobster, crab leg, bacon wrapped scallop type deal Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a big sow of myself there. So you connect the dots and it all starts to make sense.
No, was the gout after the seafood? Because that,
Mhm.
yeah, I kind of noticed that correlation as well. Sometimes I got to be careful in the shellfish.
Yeah. But I persevere.
It's like when you walk into an old saloon and the one cowboy kind of looks at the others and just nods. That's like when us old guys talk about allopurinol and gout. It's just like, yeah, I got you, brother.
Yeah. So you carry it like some people carry gum. Hey, have you got any? Of course. Yeah. How many do you need? 2? What do you need? I got it for you. So are you in any position to do a Pinder report? Is that what I'm led to believe? I see the
we can just goof around. I got some standings.
Sure.
That's it. I didn't collect anything else, but I figured.
The Pinder report is a presentation of Village Honda until the end of the month, which is like tomorrow. You can take part in the end of year pre-owned clear out. They have the units that are in stock. They start low. The savings are high, up to $2,000 potentially on a trade bonus. All makes, models, and budgets. I know what you're thinking. It's the end of the year. Maybe, just maybe, today, tomorrow might be the best days in the entire calendar year to have some huge savings and get yourself behind the wheel of a new pre-owned vehicle. Courtesy of Village Honda, your dealership for life, located in the Northwest Automall. Flames last night lose to Vegas by a 3-0 score. Were you in any position or shape to watch it?
I watched the first 40. I mean, I watched the San Jose game. They work hard. It's just for 6 periods of hard work, they scored how many goals? Like
they just can't score.
It's not their fault. They're trying their hardest.
Yeah.
But I mean, Huberdeau's transformed his game to try to score more and pass less. That's worked. You got Blake Coleman, God bless him, a third liner on a cup champion team. You got, some young guys that are trying to establish themselves as NHLers, like Pelche, Zeri, and Coronado, who you like, but like really, who's on the whiteboard for the other team? Like they don't have a guy. No. If we can just shut down blank, like they've scored 4 goals or more twice.
I think,
October 14.
This is game number 36 for them, and I think I was reading. It's 31 games of 3 or fewer. Mm-hmm. And last night significantly less than 3. Right.
0. Like they went 6-6-4 to start the year, and since then, twice.
Yeah,
like. And so it's, you give them a ton of credit because I don't know that you could expect this roster on paper to be where they are in the standings. Their structure, their work ethic, they're clearly greater than the sum of their individual parts at this point. But also you're just like, when they get mediocre goaltending, it doesn't look pretty. If they have an off night, they get pumped. And, if your goalie lets in 4, you're cooked.
Yeah. And I was saying to Jack earlier, it's another chapter in the Vladar book of I watch and I think he plays well. I think he battles hard and I think but he loses and his save percentage is under 9 again. And I saw here he's tall. He takes up some space. He will make some big saves, but at the end of the night, more often than not, he's on the wrong side of it.
Yeah. And you look at the size of him and Dustin Wolf, and this is obviously not high-end analysis, but you're like, man, if the one guy could move or be as technically sound as the other, he's a Hall of Famer. Like Dustin Wolf is a small goaltender who has been, I think, quite superior to Vladar since he's been established as you're up with the club. You're not up for a weekend. Ever since Wolf stopped getting you've been up for 5 days, down for a month, up for 5. Like, let him get comfy in his environment. Let him know that he's part of a team. He's part of a platoon. He's in a crease. He's got, this is my ritual. This is where I live. This is my goalie coach, all that stuff. He's been great. And it's just like, it's not even a doubt. I remember, this summer, some were speculating, oh, this is Vladar's crease to lose. And you're like, the pedigree that Dustin Wolf had coming up at every single level, he's dominated. Period. Stop. There has not been a league he hasn't been too good for. It hadn't happened yet this past summer, but you're seeing it now. Like, you can get outplayed and win with Dustin Wolf. Vladar occasionally, but I mean, you're kind of just waiting for Devin Cooley at this point, aren't you? Like,
yeah,
Vladar's contract's up. You've got Cooley locked in. He's a one-way deal next year. He's posting absurd numbers in the American League, and you just hope Vladar can play, get hot for a month, and you could flip him for a third or a second. You paid a third for him 3-4 years ago. He's given you okay backup goaltending, but he has not established himself as a commodity in the NHL that's particularly unique. He's somewhere between goaltender 33 and 70 in the world. Is he a backup? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is he going to start for anyone? I don't think it'll go well for that team if he does. Is there more potentially there? We've been waiting for 3 years on it. We haven't seen it yet.
The other thing that has now happened is for Pelche, game 10 since his recent recall, so he would need waivers again to go back down. But I kind of get the feel like he's not. That's not a conversation we're going to be having anytime soon. It feels like he's kind of, and maybe it's just more as a penalty killer, as a checker. But it feels like on this team right now, why can't he play every night?
Yeah, well, and Kuzmenko's been meh. And you remember they've lost Mantha and Kirkland for the season. If Mantha and Kirkland are around, I start to worry because coaches love Kirkland. You know what you're getting from him. He's got shootout weapon. Mantha's the tantalizing skill set, albeit maybe leaving you wanting a little bit in the work ethic or the consistency basis. But those guys are gone. So you're down 2 forwards, and now absolutely Jacob Pelche is one of your best 12 forwards. Like, yeah. He and Walker Duer and Kuzmenko, okay, like put him in whatever order you want. Everyone else seems to be a staple. Rooney plays the middle. Lomberg's not coming out because of what he brings, but he's starting to look like a good third liner. I've liked his pace he's played with. He's made some nice plays. I think of the goal he set up before Christmas where he immediately is looking backdoor to his line mate, not trying to shoot in tight. Like, I can't believe 31 other teams passed on this guy on waivers. I really can't, because the pedigree was first round pick. He clearly was low confidence coming off a season loss to injury, but the Flames knew if we can get him down to the A and get him back to playing the right way, he's still going to be an asset. But I mean, think of the Edmonton Oilers. You're the oldest team in the league. There was a chance to get a guy making $800,000 or whatever he's making that's under 25. Like, how many players do they have under 30 in that forward group? Like, no one took a swing on this guy. And then we are like, well, maybe, we're in the market, we're overvaluing our own guys. But like, he looks like an HLer right now. It's months later.
It'd be nice if he could find some offense to go with it. It's commendable that he works hard, right? He's got 1 goal this year. His NHL numbers, and it's not a huge resume, as we know. But he's got 5 NHL goals to his credit.
He's 10 games since the recall. What's he got? Like 4 helpers or something like that? 1 goal, 3 assists. Like, I'm putting you on the spot here, but it's not nothing at this point. I mean,
1 goal, 3 assists in 10 games.
That's fine. He's a guy that you were hoping could come in and look like an NHLer and earn minutes. He's done that. Yeah. He's been better than Kuzmenko, who's penciling in for 30 this year.
I don't even know what to think about that anymore, because on one hand, the guy has not. I mean, he just got back in after missing 5 games, so it's hard to impress when you're not getting into the lineup. But he's put on a line with Lomberg and Rooney.
Yeah.
And then near the end of the game in the third period, he was bumped up to a third line and kind of gets some opportunity there. You want him to shoot and you want him to get some points and you want him to be better, but he doesn't get enough ice time to do it. But then you give him ice time and he still doesn't do it. I just wonder what the next, they played 36 games. So whatever the math is, heading towards the deadline. What's the Kuzmenko project? What do you do with this guy? Do you try and put him in a position to succeed? Because you've seen him put up points as a Calgary Flame. Last year, he was a somewhat impactful guy, albeit probably more in the power play than anything else. But does it not behoove the coach as far as winning, the GM as far as turning him into assets, to get this guy involved moving forward?
They tried. I mean, they gave it, 2.5 months, didn't they? Yeah, that's the problem, is that it isn't a lack of opportunity. They moved him around all over. They've had him on PP1. He's had considerable minutes, and it's just, if he ain't scoring, the rest is just empty calories. He doesn't defend. He's not physical. He doesn't move his feet. Like, I'm wondering at this point if he's not back to the K this summer. Like, you've seen him thrive in one scenario and be miserable in another. Where he's thrived is on teams that are way out of it, that aren't playing for anything. That was a lost season under Boudreau in Vancouver, and the tail end of a season you knew they were missing the playoffs in Calgary. Where he's struggled is when coaches have wanted structure and are flirting with playoffs. And I'm probably oversimplifying, but he couldn't play for Rick Tocchet, and he's not playing for Huska when it matters. Like, is that an asset in the NHL, or is that like we'll bring him in on a PTO to see if he wants to make this team out of camp? Like, I still thought the floor for this guy was 25, 30 goals, but you can't even get in the top 9 until you're shut out through 40.
And I don't know how to, because again, it's a quandary. I don't know whether you commend Huska for it, because here's a coach who obviously his only mandate is to win. He can't be thinking about spinning for assets or any of that. He's got to win. That's what he's judged by. And you are starved for offensive ability. And this guy has some of the best on your team, even though we're not seeing it, but it's there. And he's like, no, I'm not putting up with everything else.
Yeah.
To keep this guy in the lineup for hopes and dreams, wishes and nuts or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not going to do it. You're going to sit. You're a healthy scratch tonight, even though I desperately need offense in my game right now. He won't do
look, I mean, if you want to just get Kuzmenko to score, you can put him on the ice more, but it's clearly costing you at the other end, and you're clearly usurping somebody who plays with better structure than him in the lineup. So, Huska absolutely deserves a ton of credit for everything he's done. He's gotten a team, as we said, right off the top, better than the sum of its individual pieces. They win tonight. They're in a playoff spot. Like, what are we talking about? We're almost into the new year. How? And it's like, okay, well, they had some good goaltending. It's like, cool. But like, literally, how many defensemen on this team could make Florida, for example? Like, you've got 2.5 real NHL defensemen. You've got nobody that's going to score 30 goals, maybe Huberdeau. Like, Huska's done an incredible job of getting the most as he can out of this group that does not have a star, that just doesn't.
Some of it, I guess, is an indictment. You look at the teams behind them, and we had Frank on, and he was talking about he thinks Utah will get in some way, but you got Utah, St. Louis has not been very good, Seattle, Anaheim, Nashville. Also, part of it is the teams that are behind them that would they're not very good either. Vancouver's stumbling a little bit. But to your point, they're 2 points back of the Dallas Stars as we sit here today. And I would not have guessed that would be close. So anyway, they got a 3-game homestand. Starts tomorrow against the Canucks. Then Thursday it's Utah. Saturday Nashville. Canucks are banged up. No Quinn Hughes, no Elias Pettersson for Hughes. He's week to week. So again, maybe a chance here for the Flames, who have been better at home. Try and get a win against
Canucks
the divisional opponent.
Awful at home. I don't know that means they're good on the road, but I don't think they're afraid of being on the road. They've blown a bunch of leads. Their last one, what was it? Seattle. They blew a 3-goal lead and lost in overtime. Like, it's been ugly out there. You have this maybe media fabricated or at least overhyped Pettersson Miller thing, the Demko thing. It's like, I kind of feel like if the Canucks can eventually get healthy and get this back on the rails and quiet things down, they might be real good. But like, it's been a whirlwind 3 months for them. They've been through like 2 seasons worth of drama already.
It feels like there's a lot to get right between health and confidence and just the whole thing. They're 10-3-2 on the road.
There you go. And Hronik's out as well, which is a big piece, because that's the guy that plays with Quinn. And now all of a sudden you got top pair Tyler Myers, which is not what he's best at. It's kind of like the Zadorov thing. Like, that's a guy in the third pair you love. The more minutes, you're like, I don't know.
I know.
So Hronik, Hughes, that's their 2 best defensemen. Demko, we don't know. Like, he's healthy now, but like, how much can they use him?
Yeah, Frank was saying keep an eye. Maybe that this is a situation where the Canucks have to go and find a guy.
Yeah,
because you can't just take 2-3 weeks, toss it away, and think you're going to be fine. They don't really have that luxury.
And they were already looking for a defenseman. Like, that's what we had heard. So that would make some sense to me. And you know, like, Lankinen and Shilovs have not given them great goaltending. Shilovs was outstanding in that series, given the context that it was the Oilers and McDavid and all that. But yeah, like, I still think if this group ever gets healthy and they add the D that you know they're going to add at the deadline, there'll be a force to be reckoned with. But right now, they're in one. Like, it is the right time to play the Canucks if you're the Calgary Flames.
We can take a look at the standings. We kind of had them up there, but again, you can see where the Oilers have turned things around. They had a good end to the month of December, so they've moved up the board. The Kings continue to find ways. They got a win. I believe it was last night. The Jets, they play tonight. The Wild, it's hard to see what
all those teams look like playoff teams, don't they?
Yeah, and then it feels like there's one wild card spot up for grabs between a collection of 3 or 4 teams that could be in there for it.
That's wild that Dallas isn't further ahead than that. I mean, I guess it kind of speaks to the division. Like, Colorado's finally clicking. Minnesota and Winnipeg have been surprise stories, but Oilers are getting points all over, but they only have 1 regulation win in their last 6, and that was Ottawa at the end of a roadie when Ullmark got hurt in the first. Like, they've needed 3-on-3 to win, which is interesting. And yeah, I don't know if Utah's getting in like Frank thinks. Who's coming out? Like, if the Canucks get healthy, they're fine.
But if they don't, to me that's the thing. I have a little bit more concern. It'd be like if anybody gets healthy and if things start to go right, then they can turn it around. But between goaltender and your top D and your number 1 center, those are key pieces. And then the JT Miller thing is also in there anyway.
Yeah.
We'll probably just, you know what we'll probably do over the next few months? We'll probably watch some hockey and see how it turns out.
Just figure it out, eh?
Yeah, we'll probably watch and see how it turns out. Alex Ovechkin, he has been back for 2 games. He was injured. You remember what broke his leg or whatever, and then started skating 10 minutes later. Returned on Saturday. So 2 games since he's come back. Let's take a look at the OV weekend here against the Leafs and the Caps.
This one. Dubois will advance for Protas. A head man for Alex Ovechkin. Ovechkin, welcome back to the lineup. He scores goal number 869.
Fisher held out as a healthy scratch today by head coach Todd McClellan. McMichael to the front. Chychrun, great pass. Ovechkin scores! Beautiful puck movement, and the captain converts.
This is all created by Connor McMichael. Just a thing of beauty here. Connor McMichael, heady play. It goes over to Chychrun, and Ovechkin just steps into it.
I think I said Washington. Obviously, it's Detroit. So 2 games, 2 more goals, 870, moving him to within 25 of breaking the Gretzky record.
24 from tying, 25 for the record, and he is absolutely flying the zone the moment a Capital might get the puck and there's an empty net. Like, do you see how open he is on the the Protas pass or whatever? It's like, oh yeah, Ovi's out there somewhere. Zip.
And you know, it's how are we gonna feel if it's a bunch of empty netters? 895 goals.
They all count, baby.
Is let's be honest, there's going to be some empty netters. I'm sure Wayne had some.
Wayne hit a few empty nets, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's got 17 in his first 20. It's tied for the second most he has scored in his first 20 in his career. He had 18 in 09-10 and had 17 as well in 13-14. He's in his 20th season. He is 39 years of age and can still shoot it almost better than anybody in the game.
And he's missed a season and a half due to lockout labor strife and probably another 40 to 50 games with COVID shortened nonsense.
Yeah.
Never mind the skip the first game after the All-Star break because he always got suspended for 1 game for going down and swimming with dolphins rather than going to the All-Star game. He did that for about a half decade.
There is that.
I mean, if you want to talk about the empty netters, you could also talk about how Gretzky played against guys who didn't know what the butterfly was.
I don't think
it's incredible.
There's no asterisk. I don't think there's going to be if he gets there. And I think obviously it seems like he's going to. it's now just a matter of when. And it also feels like I think people be happy to see it.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure there's some Oiler fans who don't want to see it, but he's one of those guys for a long time. It was Sid versus Ovi.
Yeah.
And if you were Canadian, you had to like Sid and you had to hate Ovi or dislike whatever. But so much time has passed. It just feels like this is a guy you'd be fine being the goal scoring champion of the league.
He's when you close your eyes and someone says his name, you're just thinking about him ripping pucks and being unstoppable. Everyone knows he's going to shoot it from there. Woo, Ovechkin. Like he's the greatest goal scorer the game's seen. I don't have a problem with that. And it's wild. Like, have you heard the plans they've got? Gretzky and Bettman, as soon as he gets within like 5, I think, they're private jetting every single game around the league, which will be a while. Like, he scores in bunches, so I think it's within 4 or 5. They're going to start doing it, but that could be a month on the road for Wayne.
Yeah, and goals can come in bunches.
Yes, power play goals especially, I've been told.
Yeah.
Like
Sabres have won 3 in a row. I don't know if because the last time we talked, things were not good.
Yeah, Terry
Skid hit 13 games.
T-Peg talked with the boys.
And then big win for the Sabres. 3 in a row. Everything's great in Buffalo. Nothing to say.
Great might be strong, but back off suicide watch. That was ugly there.
Yeah. Jack's happy. Sid picked up assist 1034, passing Mario for most in Penguins history. Did you celebrate, Jack? It was nothing quite like having the assist lead.
I liked Jay Fresh on Twitter and said, interesting to see Sidney Crosby pass his rookie season billet in assists with the franchise.
Yeah, never happened before. It's never happened before. So 3 games tonight. Rangers at Florida. Rangers have lost 3 in a row. They are 4-14 since November 21st.
Miserable.
Panthers have dropped back-to-back after a 4-game win streak. So was that Eastern Conference? What was that? Panthers Rangers last year playoff?
Yeah, it was conference final.
Yeah.
And I think it was actually 2-1 Rangers at one point. And it was just like, Florida is all over them. It's only a matter of time.
Nashville's and Winnipeg. Jets have won 3 in a row and 5 of 6. They're 6-1-1 in their last 8. And the Preds, meanwhile, have stopped the bleeding a little bit. Lost to St. Louis Friday, but they're 3-1-1 in their last 5. It's about as good as it gets for Nashville.
Jonathan Marchessault, 6 goals his last 5. He's starting to hum.
Yeah.
And Stamkos points are coming. They're looking better. But again, they're not looking like the preseason predictions. They're looking like, hey, we can be over 500 for a week. But I don't know if they're going to make a run. It looks like they got a little momentum right now.
The other game tonight, Utah at Seattle. World Juniors, Canada bounces back after a disappointing loss to Latvia. They beat Germany 3-0. But again, people want more. It's 5-on-5. You should be dominating these teams. Why aren't you winning by more? That whole thing. We'll see how it goes. New Year's Eve beauty coming up. Canada versus the U.S. The Americans fell 4-3 to Finland in overtime. Have you watched much? I admittedly have not.
Not yet. I usually, once we get to the elimination round, and it's just a busy time of year, if you've got families, like we're out skating on the lake and screwing around, and if it's on, great. But there's also been a ton of football. Like, what was it, 5 of the last 7 days we've had football on?
It's been
even more than that, like more tonight.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I was texting some hockey people. Like, are we just getting outraged because that's all we do now about this Hockey Canada roster, or is this like a sound build? And just asking some people that would know and have been part of the process and work in the NHL.
I'm the wrong guy to ask because I'm the same way. It's such a busy time on Boxing Day. I know it's on, and I'll be, I should watch that today, and then 9 times out of 10. Forgot about the game because we were doing something with the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like let's get to New Year's Eve. Let's see the Americans and the Canadians, and then the tournament starts. And if they've lost prior to that, I still think it's not going to be a death blow to them unless they lose every round robin game prior to it. But
so I'd ask this NHL front office person, do you have any issue with the Canada roster? Is this a rational build, or is this Rob Zaminer to Nagano? Because the whole concept is, wow, we don't need to bring these high risk, high reward players if we have these steady Eddie guys. But the most genius brain version of that was Rob Zaminer going to Nagano. Like, who?
Yeah.
You say that, like, you got to be a hockey nerd. You made Team Canada for the Olympics. Like, what are we talking about? And he said, look, this isn't very different than the rosters they built in years past. They just rode 2 years of incredible Bedard. And it's like, you watch the power play struggle. You're seeing them have, they scored what, 3 against Germany? Like,
yeah, I did see that.
There's more offensive guys available, fellas. You need to build rosters to win 2-1.
Yeah. There was an NHL exec, unnamed, but anonymously, basically, his quote was, "You have one of the best offensive defensemen in the country available to you, and you had 2 chances. You didn't invite him in the first place, and then he showed up, and you cut him again. It's your own fault." So we'll see. That's coming up, I guess, tomorrow. NFL Christmas Day. Poor Jack. We talked about earlier. Pittsburgh got beat by Kansas City. Those frauds, Ryan. They continue to win.
It's perfect. They got everyone fooled. Yeah,
they got everyone fooled. Christmas Day, it was great having football. The games were not great.
Yeah.
Baltimore over Houston, 31-2.
See the news yesterday about the schedule? Now, last week of the year, they play everyone on Sunday traditionally, so no one gets any rest advantage, right? There's no Monday nighter, there's no Thursday nighter. This year, they've flexed 2 into Saturday. So the Ravens and the Steelers, both of their games, I guess, what is it, Cincinnati for the Steelers? I'm not sure who the Ravens play. Jack will know, but Browns, thank you. But like those teams will now have 1 extra day heading into a playoff game. Greasy Jack working. He's got good L on the horn.
They got screwed over, Ryan. They had to play 11 games or 3 games in 11 days. So did the Ravens, actually. So it's making up for it now.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right. Okay. Of what
tonight?
Yeah. Of the things that took place, yes, Saquon Barkley tops the 2,000-yard mark. Philly beat Dallas 41-7. A division winner for the first time in his 7 years in the league. He says, I've never T-shirts and hats. I didn't even know this was a thing. You win the division, you get these things. That's awesome. What was it? The Commanders, they win. Jaden Daniels is so good. Passes RG3 for the most rush yards by a rookie quarterback. The Bengals are still alive somehow. Miami is still alive somehow. Packers are 3-4 against teams with winning records. Not ideal. Yeah.
I mean, the 4 losses are probably Minnesota, Detroit.
Could be.
Because that's all their divisional games, and they don't play another one because obviously it's Detroit and Minnesota this coming week. That's tough.
And yes, tonight it is the Detroit visiting San Francisco. Lions are 13-2. San Fran has lost back-to-back games in 5 of their last 6. It's not gone well. The last stretch here for San Fran.
And as long, I believe, as Sam Laporta doesn't get a billion points, you will be crowned our first back-to-back fantasy football champion, Dean, in the Media Hacks League. Look at this.
Yeah, my kicker let me down.
You can't be happy?
Just one.
You're 99% to win. Let's go to the probability meeting.
And you know what? I put in Calvin Ridley. I hate Ridley. I've been going with McMillan. And McMillan had over 20. So I really some poor management on the final week. But
99% champion, Dean.
It feels good. I won't lie.
Do you want me to send you? I'll offer you 3/4 of the winner's money right now if you want.
No, I'll hold on. I'll wait till tomorrow, maybe.
Right, no.
I'll wait. Yeah. Picking 14th out of 14.
Perfect. Loves the turn.
Hate it.
What?
Watching all those great players go, and I just get the scraps at the bottom end of the first round.
Who was the scraps at the turn? Tell us.
Well, at the turn, I had the 2 picks.
Yeah, the scraps.
Saquon Barkley was one. Marvin Harrison, who has been the shits.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
And then you go all the way down and then back, and I forget who I took, but Lamar was one. And if it were not for Lamar and Barkley, I'm effed the entire way. I don't even know who else I took there, but feels good to beat McBride.
Yeah, he's had a good team this year.
He's had a good team.
Me last week. He got 25 from the Atlanta D last week to kill me. 25.
Yeah, I think I beat him in the final last year as well. Not sure. But yeah, feels all right. And somewhere in there, not to get, I mean, it's been my second running back spot has been a disaster.
Yeah.
All season long.
Yeah.
So We'll take it.
Saquon's good enough for 2. Don't worry.
We'll take it.
And you're going to Smith and Trey McBride at the turn, by the way. McBride got to the house for you, Trey.
Finally took him all bloody here.
Yeah.
And you're going to finish. You got the third place, Jeff.
3 players' logos got tonight, so I'm definitely not out of the woods at all. He's got Amon-Ra and Jennings and somebody else. I could definitely lose still.
And Jack, you got the 7th place?
Yeah, I haven't even looked.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it is one of those things. If you make the playoffs and you lose in round 1, it's like, I don't even know if I set the roster.
Yeah, I hear you.
Congrats, Dean.
Thank you.
You seem happy.
I'm elated.
We need to clip that.
Yeah, I'm
beside
myself. Yeah,
I'm elated.
Yeah, of course, I'm very excited.
Obviously.
Were there any other? I'm just trying to think. What other graphics? There was a Jay Cuda.
Oh, we have a Cuda banger.
Yeah, we have a Cuda about my Chicago Bears.
Oh,
he's very astute. He finds the things that don't always come out in the traditional media. The Bears this year. Did you score first in the game?
That's amazing.
Week 1, 2, 3. No. Bye week. No. Week 12.
Yeah.
So they've had a lead. They've scored first once in 17 weeks.
Was that the Jeff Ward team that was like, "Can you guys start on time?" Like, why is it always?
I'm not
Daryl
sure.
Year 1. I don't know. Pretty fun.
I'm not sure what it is.
The other thing, they haven't won since the bye week. They were 4-2 going into the bye.
Oh yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah,
be feeling great going on a vacation, coming back 4-2 in the mix.
They're about where they should be.
Lost. Yeah, now go draft an O-lineman. Let's go.
Yeah. And the updated NFL draft standing, the draft board.
Friggin' Giants. How dumb.
Vegas wins over New Orleans and drops all the way to 8th. And the Giants was a 10-game losing streak. They get Drew locked by their own quarterback, and now sit there. So it's it's a who's who.
Well, and New England's in the catbird seat, dude.
They are in the catbird seat. That's correct.
Because they don't need a quarterback. I think they like May.
I think they do too. Yeah.
And so now it's like, hey, who needs a quarterback?
The Giants are going to be the team that has to trade up and get rid of.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So now New England can slide back, get the guy they want anyway. Like that's where you want to be.
There you go.
Tennessee's got to draft one too, right?
Yeah, they got to be done with that donkey.
Cleveland should, but they just restructured Deshaun's contract. Just kill him. Like, get him out of there.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not the best way to.
No, it's the wrong
phrase it, but
erase him. There you go.
That's a Pinder Report presentation of Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, online at villagehonda.com. Best to you and yours in the upcoming 2025. Keep them in the front of your mind if you're thinking, well, maybe not in the next 2 days. I'm gonna be, but you know what? Could really use an upgrade on that vehicle, or could use an extra vehicle, or it could use whatever it is. Village Honda, your dealership for life. What's up for the? Look at this.
Oh yeah, he's got the Udi on. See,
nice.
They stand up, show it.
Oh yeah,
this is like the lazy man's thing.
They're all over my house.
Yeah, don't
It's
even.
all
move.
they wear.
Yeah, we're gonna get this guy out on the rink. He's been dominating some pickup shinny with his brother. Nice. Taking some older kids to the woodshed, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids are like they're like dogs. You got to take them out and run them.
These ones especially.
Yeah.
Now I want you to tell Mr. Boomer what happened Christmas morning.
We set a fire in the basement.
Set a fire in the basement.
On purpose or by accident?
By accident.
In the fireplace?
In the fireplace or somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Oh, that's not good.
Did you burn down Gigi's house?
Almost.
Very nice. Merry Christmas, little man. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Never boring.
We set a fire in the basement. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. All right, pal. Happy New Year. Good to talk to you. Thanks for jumping in.
Yep. Cammie and I will be working tomorrow, and she's also on Afterburner New Year's Eve, and then we'll have the band back together, I think, entirely on the 3rd.
All right. Very nice.
See you, buddies.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Pinder out in the wilderness, wherever it was there. Looks nice. Are you a wilderness guy, Jack? Do you get are you jealous when you see the
I am, and
trees and
then I get out there and I go for a hike or do something like that. I'm like, just send me home, please.
what for what reason? Why does it
I don't know. It's just like I like going out and looking at the stuff, and then it's like, all right, I've seen enough. I don't need to walk around. I don't need to climb a mountain and get a bunch of photos.
You know what it is for me is I get out there and all that fresh air. It's like, whew, I need to lie down.
Yeah.
And like I drove all the way out here just to sleep or be tired and lay around. Could have just done this at home.
Yeah.
Be all right. Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Open that account if you haven't already with 365. Use the promo code Nation when you sign up. Download that app and get on it. Won't lie to you. Because you get once the game starts, you think, oh well, I missed the start of the game, missed kickoff, not going to get in there. Yesterday, I won twice with the New York Giants. Like I had them at -4.5, and then again at 7.5. It's like,
wow,
they're not losing this football game, and then they almost did.
They did,
but then they found a way to get it done. Bet365. It's never ordinary. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. One game tonight. Mention the 3 NHL games. This is your Monday Night Football game. It's the Niners home to the Lions. I mean, Jack, this just feels like the Lions to me all day.
It does, but I'm also so if the Lions win or lose this, it doesn't matter because they'll play for the first and the division next week against the Vikings.
Right.
So it's just like, how do you approach this game if you're them? Because it almost doesn't matter at all.
I think I put on my Dan Campbell hat.
Yeah.
And I think we're not taking our foot off the gas, man.
We're
going balls out, man. And for the Niners, they've lost 5 of 6 in of the teams that they've played. They lost by 12 to Miami, by 25 to the Bills, and by 28 to Green Bay.
Oof.
I can't and as you might imagine, a lot of the action and the money is on the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to be a square here.
Yeah, I'm thinking so as well. They'll come ready to play no matter what. It's a meaningless football game for them, but it also is for the Niners. The Niners have to be the most disappointing team this year. With all the injuries, like coming into the year, they're Super Bowl favorites, and now they're not even in the playoffs.
McCaffrey barely plays. Purdy's been okay. Debo's had an off year. They've been without Kittle here and there. Ayuk gets hurt. Yeah, you feel for Shanahan a little bit, given what he's had to work with.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that bad for them.
No.
My kid got an Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey.
Did he?
For Christmas from his girlfriend. I'm like, oh, so that's how that goes. Nice. I don't mind that.
Your division rival now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's all right. So there you go. That is the line, the over-under, and the money line there for tonight's football game. Bet365, the official gaming partner of Barnburner and Afterburner. Use the promo code Nation when you sign up. So tomorrow, Ryan and Kemi.
Yep.
And then
Wednesday holiday.
Yeah.
Thursday you and Red, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's something. And then Ryan's back on the Friday. Either way.
We'll make something work.
We'll get something done. So did I ask you about New Year's Eve, what you're doing?
I have no plans as of right now.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm it's kind of weird. It's on a Tuesday night, just coming off Christmas.
Yeah.
I did my fair share of drinking already, so I don't know if I need to go anywhere again, but
yeah. I'm not sure. There's a Flames game.
There's a Flames game. Is that a home game?
It is. Yeah, they're home to Vancouver.
Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe you should go. I'm not sure how you get tickets. I can't help you. Don't ask. But
that's bad.
Here you go. So that'll do it for today. I guess I got to get that thing ready. Show the old show end. But appreciate it. It kind of wraps things up for myself here. To everybody who's been a watcher, a listener, a sponsor, if you care at all for whatever reason for what we do, we do appreciate you. It's not a well-oiled machine. We are very much flying by the seat of our pants a lot of the time, and we just, if you happen to take an interest in this, in what we're doing, the informed stuff that you get from this show, we appreciate it. We're looking forward to we're trying to always level up. We're a small little team. We don't have a whole lot of people. We don't have a lot going on, but man, we're trying to build and get bigger and better. Jack, you're a big part of it. Appreciate you, pal.
Appreciate
RJ.
you.
We've got Yasmin and everybody involved. It's a tight little team. Not a lot of us, hey Jack?
Nope. And sometimes it's really just me and you.
Sometimes it's just me and you. Have a safe New Year's Eve if you choose to get crazy. If you don't, enjoy the Flames game. We'll be back in the new year. And for today, that'll do it. See you, buddies.